the Art Loeb Trail, one of the toughest hikes in all of North Carolina, with lung-busting steep climbs up mountains and knobs, only to be followed by knee-aching descents into deep gaps, most of the time with no switchbacks, over and over throughout the trail. It has a narrow section where you are climbing up and over rocks on the ridge of a mountain, where your pace slows to a crawl. You have sections where it feels like the bushes are reaching out and slapping you with every step. There are dry sections where you are carrying multiple liters of water, only adding weight to your load as you traverse these mountains. But there's also beauty, and on this special trip, I saw the Art Loeb like I have never seen it before, blanketed in snow and ice, as a late spring snowstorm hit the mountain on our first day. The conditions were brutal, but the scenery was breathtaking. The trees not yet fully bloomed, giving way to the views of the surrounding mountain landscapes, and beautiful vistas atop green balds and mountain knobs. This is the Art Loeb Trail. This is my adventure. Hey folks, Crimson Blaze here. Welcome to the channel. I am back on the trail, and this weekend I find myself in the great state of North Carolina, and I'm going to be backpacking Art Loeb Trail. Let's go get it. It is early April here in North Carolina, and the weather feels fantastic. It's actually supposed to rain all day, and it did as we were driving in, but it's overcast now, but it's been sunshine, so glad to have that. But this trip has been on my bucket list for a while. You know, I did Linville Gorge a couple years ago, which is probably one of my favorite hikes in North Carolina. Well, I kept hearing about the Art Loeb Trail, so I figured next time I go back to North Carolina for work, I'm going to squeeze in a backpacking trip, and that is what I am doing. So the Art Loeb is a little over 30 miles, and it's a point to point. But luckily I'm here with a friend of mine from work and my brother-in-law. So we had two cars. We parked one at the Davidson Campground, and then we drove back up to Camp Daniel Boone. So we are SOBO hikers on this trip, and looking to get to Tennant Mountain, Black Balsam Knob maybe, and hopefully have some amazing views for sunset and maybe sunrise. So we'll see how it goes, but it's a beautiful trail, but it's all up right now.
first 4 miles is a steady climb from the parking lot, gaining almost 1,900 feet in elevation. And the water situation is pretty good during this stretch until mile 3. After that, you won't have another good water source until mile 7. At mile 4, you reach the top of a ridge and take a hard right and start heading south towards the Narrows. It was here where we noticed evidence of the burn area from the recent Rattlesnake Branch fire, and this would continue through most of the Narrows over the next mile. This is also where we experienced the worst weather of the day. Up to this point, it had rained on and off with blue skies, and we were taking our rain jackets on and off all throughout the day, but now we were socked in with fog while it began to steadily rain, and it even hailed on us a bit during this time of our hike.
Welcome to the Narrows. Just got hit by a hailstorm, and now we're up here on the ridge walking through, and this is also a burn area, so there was a recent fire up here. And yeah, with the hail and the fog, and it's pretty cool, actually. You know, I always love this kind of stuff. It's different. I tell you what, the Art Loeb ain't no joke. You're walking along a ridge, and it's all kinds of rocks and roots, up and down, and it probably would have been pretty cool, except we're socked in with fog right now. So the rain is gone, the hail is gone, but we're kind of socked in with fog at the moment, and we're still going up. We're about 5 miles in, and the going is slow. That's for sure. So we'll see how far we get tonight. Let's roll. And now we have snow. This is some crazy weather. Hoping to leave Colorado to get to some better weather, but a cold front has come through western North Carolina, and it said there might be some snow showers, but oh yeah, let's keep on going.
We hiked only a couple more miles, making it 7 total for the day. It was getting dark, and we were wet and cold and just ready to get into some dry clothes and warm quilts. Plus, we knew there would be no views on Tennant Mountain or Balsam Knob, so we would save that until tomorrow morning when the weather was going to be much better. But right now, we just wanted to set up camp and get warm.
Morning, folks. It is day 2 on the Art Loeb Trail. Sorry I didn't get any footage last night coming into camp. It was getting dark, and it was snowing, and it was cold, and so all of us were just kind of in a hurry to set up camp and get some warm food in us. So by the time all that happened, it was dark at night, and then I just crashed into my hammock. The temps dropped to around 30 degrees, 31 degrees last night, so it is a chilly morning. But we're finally getting up, getting some breakfast, and we are going to be heading out soon. So I will see you on the trail. We are back on trail on the start of day 2. We've got about 13 miles to hike today. Have to make up some miles that we didn't hike yesterday. Looking to get to at least Butternut Shelter. That's what I think it's called. But still kind of hiking in a cloud. But it's cool seeing the snow on the ground and the trees frosted with snow, and yeah, but the hiking seems to be a little bit easier today, so we should be able to pound out these miles. So see you on the trail. Oh wow.
After Black Balsam Knob, we connected with the Mountain to Sea Trail for a short bit and descended into a forest. This is a great location for hammock camping. In fact, this would be an ideal spot if you want to hammock camp but still catch those sunsets on Black Balsam Knob, as it is less than half a mile to hike up to the top. This is where we were able to cruise for a couple miles until we reached the Devil's Staircase. This began the steep descent to Farlow Gap. We dropped around 1,400 feet over the course of only 2 miles. And just as soon as you get to the bottom of a gap, you start to climb another knob. This was the beginning of hiking up steep climbs to a mountain knob and then immediately descending into the next gap, over and over and over again. We took a quick snack break at the Deep Gap shelter just before our climb up Pilot Mountain. Luckily, Pilot Mountain was one of the few climbs that had switchbacks. The rest were straight up and then straight down when climbing these mountains, and this old body was beginning to wear down a bit.
I check in for the day. I am 8 miles in, just past Deep Gap shelter, and it's been quite a hike. Hiking up Tennant Mountain this morning and up Balsam Knob, and then we finally started heading down. But it was beautiful this morning, freezing cold, but beautiful with all the snow on the trees and the mountains. But yeah, it's been definitely a very challenging hike, very AT-like hike with all the rocks and the roots and the up and the down over the knobs and into the gaps. Right now we're about to climb up to Pilot Mountain. But we still have about 6 miles left, and we are late into the day, so we're gonna get moving. This is Buttergat Shelter. So we're staying tonight. Ain't seen this many people on the trail all day. Hey folks, well this is the end of day 2. Paul and I here at Buttergat Shelter. And there's a ton of people, which is really cool. But there's nobody in the shelter, so Paul and I decided just to cowboy camp in there so we can break down pretty quickly tomorrow. But it looks like a good group of guys, got a fire going, so excited about that. But it was an amazing day going over Tennant Mountain and Balsam Knob, Black Balsam Knob, just with the snow and the on the mountains and the trees. It was stunning, but it's hard. The Art Loeb Trail is difficult. It's kicking my butt, but it's beautiful. I love it. But anyway, as the sun's going down, I'm going to go change some clothes and just get ready for dinner, and I will see you in the morning. Morning, folks. It is day 3, and I am back on trail. Had a pretty good night's sleep last night. Paul and I just cowboy camped in the shelter so we could break down camp pretty easy and get out quick this morning around 7 o'clock. I only have around 9 miles, not quite 9, a little under. And I think this should be our easiest day so far. But yesterday was it was brutal. We hiked almost 15 miles from the Shining Rock Wilderness to Buttergat Shelter. But it was good. It was so beautiful. And I think the time of year that we're here right now, you can see through the trees, which is nice. But yeah, it was Art Loeb, definitely earning some respect for the Art Loeb Trail. I would say it's more difficult than the Linville Gorge. I think the Linville Gorge may be more scenic, but this one is definitely harder. But it has been a wonderful trip. Beautiful views, so it's definitely worth it. But we have, like I said, just a little under 9 miles to go before we get to the truck, and then we'll be calling it in. But there's still some stuff to see, so I'll see you on the trail. The one thing that I really loved about this hike is all of the trees. That's probably the thing I miss the most in North Carolina and moving to Colorado, is hiking in all these trees. Because I've been in these green tunnels for most of the trip, and I thought these green tunnels were just going to be a little bit here and there. But you are, like, when you're not on top of a knob, you're walking through these cool, green tunnels and these just really wiry looking trees that kind of hang over the trail. I mean, I haven't put any sunscreen on. I just felt like I haven't needed to, because I'm kind of in the shade all day. But yeah, this has been really, really awesome. I've loved all these trees. Another thing I would recommend for this hike is doing it in April, probably May, or maybe even like around September when the leaves are changing. And I say early spring here in North Carolina because there is some new growth on the trees that you can see, but you can see the mountains, right? So I've been hiking with my friend Paul, and he's done this trip already, and he did it in June or July. And he said you didn't have these views because all the trees are blocking your view of the mountains. So I think April is a great time. That snowstorm, I think, is a bit odd, hit or miss, here in the North Carolina mountains. But I have loved being able to look out and see the trees while you're climbing all these knobs. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I only have about a half a mile left until I get to the trailhead at the Davidson River Campground. And it's nice. This last half mile is flat. You're hiking next to the Davidson River, and it's just beautiful down here. But the Art Loeb is a special trail. It's hard, as you're going up those knobs and down to those gaps, and there aren't many switchbacks. It's just straight up, straight down, over and over again. But it was beautiful. I really have loved it. One thing left I have to do is cross this bridge, tap that sign, and we're gonna call it a day. And until my next adventure, keep on blazing.